Sunday morning, September 22nd, 2024, about 10 till 9. Spring officially came in about 5 or 6 minutes ago, 8:43. So this is the first day of spring, but the first full day of spring will be tomorrow. So until this morning at 8:43, it was still summer. Okay, we're going to, hopefully we won't have any more trouble, change the front brakes on this 2000 Express van 2500. Yesterday we were going to change them, but even with a breaker bar we could not get the lug nuts loose. We got most of them loose, but on both of these tires there were a couple that I just could not break loose. And there's not a section of pipe around here. If you got a section of pipe around here, you can put it on your breaker bar and get leverage, and if I'd had a section of pipe I could have got them broke loose, but there's not a section of pipe around here. So I drove to a tire shop and got him to loosen them and tighten them back up. Hopefully he didn't put them too tight. He charged me 10, I gave him a $10 tip, $20. So we're gonna jack it up and get to changing these brake pads, hopefully. And hopefully got the right ones. I've never been asked about the pads before. But it's a 7500 or 8800 GVW. This one's an 88, so I got the bigger pads. But nobody's ever asked me that before. And we got the van, because we're not at the shop, we don't have a lift, we don't have our floor jacks. We're going to have to use a jack that came from Chevrolet, so we've got that out. Pay attention to your jacking instructions, how to go about it and all this kind of stuff. We're just going to do it. I'm not going to show you all that stuff. On your center caps, be careful when you put them back on not to tighten them down too tight, because they are plastic. It'll break the little caps, it'll break your center pieces, it'll mess all that stuff up. So let's see, hopefully we can get these lug nuts loose, then we will go ahead and jack it up and then take the tire off. Just clean it up with a brake cleaner and swap those pads. Okay, just as there is no section of pipe to use as a breaker bar, there is also nothing to use as a Scotch block. So we've got the emergency brake set and we've got it in park, so it should not go anywhere. It's pretty level, should not go anywhere. And I usually jack it up from the front, from the frame, and that way you take the tire up and everything. With this you have to take the body up higher, let the tension off of that suspension. We're just about there where we can get the tire off. Okay, as you can see, it's been scrubbing a little bit right here on the top of the rotor. It must be that rivet right there. So it hadn't reached the squealer yet. So evidently that pad is canted in a little bit. I don't know what would cause that, but anyway, let's go ahead and get that off if we can. This is a hex nut. It's been a long time since I've changed these. I don't know if I've got the right hex nut. I may have to go to ride the electric bike somewhere, because there are no tools here. There's no jack stand. There's nothing here. So let me see. Hopefully I've got the right hex nut to get these pads off. And before we get these calipers off, let's see if we can't take our big pliers and squeeze them open, because we've got to get them back open to get the new pads on and back on this rotor. So we're going to take our channel locks and try to squeeze them back closed now. Okay, we've got this back on now. That is a 3/8 Allen wrench, and we did have it. We got those off. These pads, these are Duralast OEM pads. These are the worst quality pads I have ever seen in my life. I had to bend these little clamps back out to even get it to partially hold in. These aren't quite long enough. They were bent out. I have had to bend and beat these back in to where they will hold in at all. This is pitiful. It's absolutely pitiful. You can see this. I'm going to have to look at that. I'm going to have to bend these things to even get it, and that's what I had to do. Had to bend this thing to get it to hold in at all. Now I pumped it up, so it was holding in place, and then I got it bent in. This will be the last pair of Duralast pads I'll ever buy. Okay, well, let's put this side back together and get on that other side. Let's go ahead and change the battery as well. Now, what just came out of my mouth? Change the battery? What do we? No, oh, change the battery in the camera. That's what we got to change the battery in.